West, y'all. This the legendary icon of the streets, Cool Chillz, and you watching my one and only homie, you know, my fam bam, Kev Mac videos, live and direct from Los Angeles to Los Angeles, where everybody walking scandalous. Come with it.
For the dime moves and the lokes, for the 6-4s on spokes, for the OGs that did a dime, came back around on parole.
For the homegirls with the scrap game.
Lil homies that gang bang, from Pelican Bay to YA, rearrange your mind frame. Yeah, I know what you been through. Shit you had to go tend to. Your mama gave birth on the turf.
I was the founder. I created Conan Pocket in my mother's garage.
I had a lot of, lifting weights, and I was on swole. They started calling me Big Miz.
Kev Mac video, you know, this is for sure. Kev Mac video, open your soul.
This is only the beginning.
So look, bro.
Yeah.
Tell the world who TWOR was, what it stood for, and all that.
Oh man, so TWOR, salutes to every member. TWOR was Twilight Warlords of Rap. You know what I mean? That was shit. It was a rap group, but it was a mixture of so many other things intertwined within that rap group. Like I say, it was the whole hip hop element. You know, the graffiti, the b-boying, the rapping, the DJing. It was like whoever wanted to be connected to this culture could be from TWOR. But TWOR was the center of TWOR was rapping.
And who were the members?
It was the founders of Twilight Warlords of Rap. It was me, a childhood friend named Cool K, and Magic, and who else was from TWOR, man? And his brother Chris. And then that was the original members. And this was like childhood, man. I'm talking about like 11, 12 years old. But then moms moved away. Everybody else moved away. So I migrated and did my nomadic thing in L.A. And then when I moved to L.A., the members became T.W.O.R, Ern Ski, Pace Bass, Radio Ron, Radio Ron, Ern Ski, Pace Bass, me, T.W.O.R, and that was it that I can remember right then. And it grew from there though. Other members grew.
Y'all went to high school together?
Yeah.
What school was that?
Dorsey. Because once I went to Dorsey, see back then every school had their own swagger. Every school was known for their energy and the frequency they was on in terms of representing LA culture. Because you got to remember when hip hop came to LA, it really wasn't embraced the way like it is now. Motherfuckers that was in the hood was like, nigga, get that shit out of here. What the fuck is that? And but once it dawned on motherfuckers that this was a reality and this was part of our DNA, everybody started embracing it. And so just like with tagging, every element of hip hop, once it infiltrated and permeated LA, man, it was a wildfire. So with that being said, Crenshaw used to battle Dorsey, not just from a school perspective, but the school culture perspective and the elements that were in the school. So if it was banging, everybody battled each other on the banging tip. If it was football, everybody battled on each other on the sports or the football. Then it came rap. Who had the best rappers from Dorsey as opposed to Crenshaw? And it grew like that. And so that competition, that competitive element, forced and compelled everybody per se to elevate their game.
Did you guys do house parties?
Oh, most definitely. I mean, motherfuckers, man, that platform, and salutes to all my 80s babies. That platform, man, catapulted a lot of people's career, man. I'm talking about cats made a lot of careers, a lot of home life based on the 80s culture and how we represented hip-hop and the street culture of LA during that particular 10-year span.
And this was during the era of the beatbox, wasn't it?
Absolutely. Motherfuckers didn't have all this shit we have now. Your beatbox was your drum machine. And he was a portable studio.
So who beatbox for you guys?
Man, at first it was Radio Ron, right? Radio, and I'm looking into this camera, I want all y'all motherfuckers to hear this. Radio Ron was the hardest motherfucker on the West Coast, period. I dare anybody to challenge that statement. Radio Ron was the hardest motherfucker in beatboxing on the West Coast. Why I know that? Because everybody and their mama came looking for us to battle each one of us in our specific specialty, lyrics and beatboxing. Then, everywhere we went, we battled motherfuckers. That was one of the things, like I said, it kept your game up. Tagging, competitive. Rapping, competitive. Beatboxing, competitive.
Being that you so lucky to be on KM videos,
Yes.
I noticed a ladybug land on your right shoulder.
Oh, yeah? I'm going to live a long time, y'all. They said me and this man probably wouldn't make it this far.
Damn right.
You know what I'm saying? That's when you know you out there and you living recklessly.
So look, you mentioned Sensual.
Yeah.
You know the average motherfucker don't know who Sensual is.
Oh, you got to be insider.
Yeah, tell him who Sensual is.
Sensual name is better known as Keke Loco. You know, that's Keke Loco, man. That's my guy. You know what I'm saying? Is it okay to... Yeah, that's my guy from True Blue. You know what I mean? The Crip tape that came out. You know, that one of the only gang tapes to me that really represented the heart of how motherfuckers was feeling at that time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that motherfucker, people from out of town really big in that. They've been asking me about Sensual for a long time now.
Absolutely. He's still around
Keke
too. Lil Keke Loco.
Hopefully we'll get a chance to interview him.
Absolutely.
So, how did you recruit him, or how did he become part of TWOR?
So one of the things with TWOR, man, to get in TWOR, you had to bring I'm gonna go on the limb and say the word special. You had to have like a special quality about yourself that stood out, or you were so hungry to be the best that you wanted to hang around the best, because during that time, and I repeat, during that time, you had a lot of talent coming out of LA that was just blossoming and blooming at the time. And when I tell you, you had cats like Micah 9 from Freestyle Fellowship. You had Silky Fine. You had Boss. You had MC Trouble. Rest in peace. A lot of you West Coast cats don't remember Trouble. You know what I'm saying? Rest in peace to Crazy Tunes and, you know, Animation from Venice Beach. You know what I mean?
So back then, when y'all was rapping and shit, where did your beats come from, and what type of equipment did you guys use?
Our beats literally came from Radio Ron, and then we met Pace Bass. Now Pace, we used to call him Pace Bass because he had that bass. Radio really didn't have a lot of bass behind him, so we knew he already perfected the art of beatboxing because he Radio battled Dougie Fresh and Biz Markie. They came way from New York to battle Radio at the Total Experience. Huh? And for y'all don't remember Total Experience, it was right across the street from Leimert Park when it was cracking. You know, y'all see one aspect of the Leimert culture, but back then that was another command station. That was our Joint Chiefs of Staff when it came to the West Coast culture also. You know, a very historical spot right there, man, for taggers. Like how we had Writers Corner, that was another department of Writers Corner, Leimert Park. Everybody and their mom used to come up there.
Yeah, that's where all the rappers and celebrities went back then.
Absolutely, absolutely. You had to be somebody to know that, man. Man, I'm telling you. And it's good that this film is being put out there based on the fact a lot of physical evidence is gone. You get what I mean?
Exactly.
These buildings are leaving. These landmarks are leaving. The people are dead and gone or locked up or doing their thing. So you're walking past history that was there prior to you even knowing about it, but you don't know about it because you don't see it. And the people that could speak on it have either moved on, died, and the stories never get told.
Well, you got gentrification and some people that don't want to go on record to talk about it.
Absolutely,
We
absolutely.
definitely lost a lot of people.
We lost a lot of people, man.
We're
Good
gonna
people.
lose a lot more due to health reasons and
Absolutely.
just shit, just other casualties of life, period.
Yeah, we collateral damage. We collateral damage, man.
Did you ever fuck around with Radiotron, or was that before your time?
Radiotron, man, that was my time. That's when I think, I want to go on a limb and say, I think that's where I found my inner celebrity at. Like officially, damn, this is it. I went to see Ice-T. You know what I mean? And that's where everybody was breaking. The movie Breaking, Turbo and all them was cracking back then, and Boogaloo Shrimp and all them. I mean, you know, don't forget the popping element, man. Popping, everybody was. By that time though, popping had died down a little bit. Breaking died down, but you still had cats that had that residue on them, because you know that's the culture. You don't never forget, you know, where you come from, nor do you forget what you represented. You know,
And with KM videos, you won't forget where you're going.
man, you never will.
Yeah.
Cause soon as that man press on, that button called on is on. Is it on? It's on. Yeah, it's on.
No doubt about that. All right, so what else is it about TWOR you want people to know?
TWOR was a nation. TWOR was so big, man, to where, man, we probably had about 200 members in that motherfucker. I mean, we had cats from New York in TWOR. Cause see, back then, a lot of cats from New York used to migrate out here. Cats from New York used to migrate out here, man. Like my boy Speedy and Spazzy, they was from the Bronx, you know, and they taught me a lot about consciousness and, you know, things of that nature, man. And, you know, these brothers were solid, man. They joined the group. We had cats like Def Rock and Chalk Rock. We had a cat named Box, A-Tone and Charlie C. You know, DJ Unique. We had spin-off records at the Crenshaw Swap Meet. You know what I mean? We had Kenny from the Black Hole. You know, for a lot of people who don't know, one of the premier West Coast tabernacles was the Black Hole. It's a studio over there towards Inglewood. You know what I mean? We had that cat, Kenny, over there. We had Pat Cooley. You know what I mean? We had Frosty and Ray Mac. You know. We had Peaches, better known as Silky Fine, Freestyle Fellowship, the Rappensteins. I don't know, a lot of people don't remember. Salutes to my Rappensteins, wherever y'all at, man. Much love. You know, I got to keep y'all name alive, man.
I remember Rappenstein.
You remember the Rappenstein?
Yeah, and Style.
Yeah, Style.
Yeah.
Man. You know what I'm saying? My boy Cool D, better known as Don Jaguar. You know, we got to give it up to Carl Kanai. You know what I mean? My boy Dazo. Dazo was making clothes when nobody in the culture really understood about fabrics. So like I say, everybody in the crew, in the fam bam, in the nation, we all had specific skills. You know what I'm saying? KMC was out there, stayed about his paper, stayed hustling, stayed about his soldierism. You know, so you had a lot of people in our circle, man, that were ahead of their time too. You know, a lot of people were ahead of their time, man. They were doing things, you know, on some futuristic shit, but in that day, you feel me? So you know, in TWOR, man, TWOR was a special crew, man, because it was made up of so many different people with so many different talents, and it all came together. We never got into it with each other. We always had, you know, crew love, man.
How come you didn't participate in the True Blue tapes?
Well, what ended up happening with me, my crazy ass got locked up. I ended up going to prison, man, for murder, and I had a life sentence. And I ended up, funny as it seemed, I ended up becoming literate in prison. I really wasn't a literate cat back then. I was literate more in the sense of I knew what I wanted to say. I just didn't know how to spell it. I didn't know how to, quote unquote, in standard form write it. You know, so Once I went to prison, man, I ended up teaching myself, the legal system, and I started chipping away at my time, chipping away, period, at this legal system, man, and I got my time reduced, and that was probably one of the hallmarks of my life, man, beating the system at their own game, you know. And so to answer the question on a more developed note, I ended up going to jail, man, and Keke was there to take that torch, man. It was me, Keke, Big Deuce, Tone, Kelly Tone. It was who else was there, man? It was quite a few cats, man. Dark Side Mafia over there in Linwood. We was using their studio. Excuse me. And I remember how it all started, man. That shit was crazy as hell. Because we used to trip off how Mixmaster Spade and used to just rap about his ordinary life in his hood, but not from a gang perspective. So me and Keke used to be up in there listening to beats from, remember how Ice Cube had Jackin' for Beats? And he would play everybody else's beats. So, because back then sampling was real popular. And Keke started rapping, I started rapping, man. And one of our cats that from Dark Side was like, hey man, that shit sound hard as fuck. You niggas should do that kind of shit. And we like, huh? Like, man, that's some gang shit. You know what I mean? And that's basically how it started, man.
Did you guys used to battle other rap groups?
Oh my God. You wasn't officially a West Coast icon if you didn't battle somebody. You didn't just, that's like cats from a hood that just didn't have to put no work in. You got to put some work in for this. I probably battled everybody named Mama, man. But see, rapping for us was a matter of freestyling. We used to say, man, we used to get the beatbox and just rap about everything we saw. You didn't have shit written down, really. If you wrote it down, that was for the professional atmosphere or when you really wanted to impress motherfuckers. But how you really impressed motherfuckers back then was freestyling, coming off the head. So motherfuckers was like, damn, he just said that shit off the dribble. Yes, sir.
Real talk. Was it anybody that got famous? Any celebrities that you guys rapped with or rapped against?
Oh man, everybody named Mama. Like I say, I remember one time, man, me and Egyptian Lover from Uncle Jam's Army. And we was out there in Westwood, man. We ran into the little girls from UCLA. So we went out there and saw Egyptian Lover, Dream Team, King T. Who else was out there, man? Shit, I'm talking about. I think let me think of some rappers, man, on the West. Freestyle Fellowship, Cool D, Adam One. Who else was on wax? I'm talking about cats that went on to make records too. Who else was out there, man? Battle Cat. He was a DJ. You know what I mean? Who else? And just everybody. You literally, I seriously doubt if somebody can actually come up to me and tell me if they from that era, they didn't have to battle nobody. I seriously doubt it. I mean, we used to be on KDAY. Shout out to Greg Mac and everybody at KDAY for allowing us to go in as, street urchins and go up in that place, man, and provide us with a forum to speak our piece. You know what I mean?
Greg Mac, rest in peace.
Greg Mac, rest in peace, man.
Let me ask you, when you was in the pen and True Blue came out, when did you first get wind of the True Blue tape?
I first got wind of it, man. It's the funniest shit, man. Is when I was in Wayside. And I was so tired because I probably was in like 10 rides. I want to say 10 rides, and that's just being mild with it. I was in 10 rides, and I end up catching a case because I end up catching a sticking. I end up back in a holding tank, and lo and behold, Big Keke come in there, right? So when Big Keke see me, he roared up on me. I'm tired as fuck, man. I don't feel like hearing shit. I don't want to deal with nobody. I'm like, man, I'm finna fuck off my whole fucking time. Keke see me, roar up on me like, man, all the fuck you up, motherfucker. What the fuck you doing? So that made all the homies in the tank look like, oh shit, niggas finna crack up in here. But all the time, that's how warriors talk to each other when they saying you fucked up. Cause he was basically telling me, nigga, the tape is out and you in jail. Nigga, this is part of your baby right here. Nigga, you helped birth this here. Why is you locked up? Gave me a big hug, nigga. I love you, man. Stay up. Crip love, nigga. Much love, my nigga.
When you think of Kev Mac videos, what comes to mind?
What comes to mind when I think of Kev Mac videos? One, a reputable and reliable source when it comes to having an ear to the streets, being like what we call a cardiostatician, a person that knows the heartbeat of the street. You get what I mean? Kev is the king of cardio. He's the king of knowing the heartbeat of the street. You feel me? He puts that stethoscope to the street, you know, which is his credential. And, you know, I can rely on the information he's providing to people based on the platform that he comes from personally, because he's held to a higher standard and he understands the codex of this culture, you know, which is we don't do bam, bam, bam. And when we do that, it's been blessed. That information has been blessed by those who came before him and by those he shared his platform with. So his name and his fame and his game can stand at attention with the best. You know what I'm saying? So when it come to Kev Mac videos, man, that's you know, he's in the DNA, man. You know, when you hear, I don't care whether they Bloods or Crips, when you hear reputable people talk, it's based on the fact that they're comfortable sharing that information, sharing their name, their culture, cultural codex with Kev, based on the fact he comes from that culture. That's his DNA.
Who have you enjoyed the most on the platform?
On the platform, man, I enjoyed Baba Louie. I enjoyed Cutes. Cutes was real out there, man. Barefoot Pookie.
What stood out about these three guys?
Their demeanor, their passion for you being blessed to have a glimpse inside a very private world, a very private institution, and then they can maintain their integrity and their focus for a better future, all in the same sentence and all in the same energy. I thought, you know, about them brothers, man. A lot of people can't pull that off, and that's something you can't audition for, practice for. It's natural. Kev, if you're connected to the streets, if you have any association, affiliation, any accommodation for the street, you're going to welcome Kev Mac videos into your living room based on the fact this is one of your own, right? This somebody who got the war wounds, who got the ghetto scars, who got the, you know, the resume to say, damn, man, this is when you get to say, I'm proud of the homie Kev Mac. One, he survived those storms from the 80s, the 90s, and on up. And two, I got to give props where it's due, because he's taking reality. He's not doing it for, quote unquote, to glamorize and glorify this, quote unquote, negative aspect of the culture, but to shed light, you know, because one thing my wife said, man, and this is real spit, she said, what I noticed about all his videos, babe, is that at the end, everybody says something positive. Everybody says something positive. So not only do you get to hear brothers and soldiers give their spin and their spill on what happened in the past and why it happened in the past and where it happened in the past, but also what can we do moving forward to alter our social and cultural and economic circumstances. I thought that was a brilliant piece on Kev's behalf, which shows a good sign of good journalism. You feel me? And this is a man who's doing it from the grassroots. This is a man who didn't go to Harvard or Yale. He went to Harvard and Yale in the hood. So you have to say, thanks, Kev, and we support you. You know what I mean? Real spill. You gotta understand one thing about Kev Mac videos, homie. I don't care if you're a blood or a crip. You know the truth when you hear it, and you know the truth when you see it. Some of these cats' videos, man, they be with that coonery and that buffoonery. They be clout chasing, you feel me? But Kev went and got you, he dug in the crates. You know what I'm saying? These are people y'all only heard about. It took Kev Mac to dig in the crates and go actually get the soundtrack of our lives. This man provided y'all with the soundtrack to the gang culture. I ain't seen nobody do that. I don't see nobody else doing that. Dude, Kev Mac in this motherfucker. Yes, sir. We just rolling over here. Nice ass community right here, man. This what the motherfuckers should aspire to be.